Hello and welcome back to another KCC video. I'm Rob and I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Today we're going to jump into some malicious compliance. Our first story today comes to us from Dumb Stupid Idiot. I bent the rules and gave you a $50 discount and you're still not happy? Enjoy the $15 one instead that you were initially meant to get. Let's jump right in. I used to work at a call center for a large Canadian telecommunications company. They are a service provider for TV, internet, home phones, and cell phones. I was a customer care agent, and at the time, I was working in the end of promotions department. I'd be the person you'd speak with when your 1 or 2 year discount was set to expire. I had been through many different departments before I was moved to the end of promotion team, so I had access to multiple discounts a regular care agent wouldn't have access to, because they never changed my authorization when I was moved to the new department. This allowed me to bend the rules quite a bit when it came to renewing promotions for some customers. Now, most care agents have limited discounts they can give. Typically, the system would generate a discount for a customer account based on their tenure and services with us. That's what the company claimed, which I find to be BS, as I have seen accounts that were created back in 1999 that would be tagged for only $10 off, and sometimes nothing at all, and they would have to pay in market rates. This is where my access level came in handy. If I spoke with a customer who was super polite and gave me no trouble or stress, I would apply a better discount than what was originally tagged, especially if I see that they've been with us for years and even sometimes decades. Example, tag for $20 off, give $35 or $40 off instead. Now, the company always claimed they keep track if we apply discounts that a customer wouldn't be eligible for, but I think that was also BS because I did this to many accounts and it never came up during meetings with my manager. So one day I get a call, a customer that's been with the company for a year or two, let's call him Mark. So Mark's promotion is coming to an end pretty soon, and he is looking to get a new one, and at the same time upgrade his services. He was on a mid-tier TV package and had 500 megabits per second unlimited internet. If I recall, he was probably paying around $140 a month. He wanted to move up to our highest TV package and our gigabit internet plan, which is the highest you can get for both TV and internet with this company. And this said company is not a budget service provider, so typically that combination of products would cost around $180 before taxes. And the price just climbs up depending on how many boxes you have for the TV, if you have home phone, and if you have any extra TV add-ons. So I tell him I will gladly look into it and place him on hold. Since he was very polite and I was in a good mood, I was happy to bend the rules for him, especially after seeing he was only tagged for a $15 discount. He had a $25 discount before, so he would have been paying $10 more if he wanted to keep his services the same, and definitely a whole lot more if he upgraded to the highest packages. So eventually I come back to him with a $50 discount for 1 year. He will still be paying more for making that change, but it's a whole lot better than the $15 off that he was supposed to get initially. Now, all of a sudden, his attitude and tone does a complete 180. He starts getting angry and starts getting rude. He was talking as if he thought I was joking when I said $50 is the most we could give him. He went on a rant about how he's been with us for so many years and how he deserves to pay less than what he was paying before, and on top of that, get upgraded services. I explained that unfortunately because he is upgrading to our highest packages, then the increase in price is inevitable. I informed him that if he wanted to, this same discount could be applied to his current services and he'd be saving $25 more than what he'd been paying. Then he pulls the same card I hear so often. Well, my friend has that package and is only paying $80, or I see newer customers getting it for so much less. Which in most cases, sure, it can happen, but with the combination of products he has, I know 100% he was just pulling these prices out of his butt. He got angrier and was demanding that he gets a better discount, and on top of that, he wanted the Crave and Movies and HBO add-on, cost $19.99, for free for a year on top of that for wasting his time. I start to get frustrated and explain once again that it is not something we can do, and the $50 is the best we can offer. He asks to speak to retention, which at the time was the end of promotion department, and I explain that he is already speaking with them. He starts to lose it and says he wants to speak to a manager, because he wants to pay what he feels like he should pay based on his tenure, which again was only around 2 years, which may seem like a long time, but in this kind of industry, it doesn't mean much. We do have a dedicated team of managers that takes calls when a customer is going apecrap. Their primary goal is to just diffuse the situation, but they are not there to give better discounts if we already went through the best options, and they always made that very clear. I explained that a manager cannot provide a better discount, but I can still transfer him to one, as it is company policy to get them to a manager if they request one, no matter what. So I place him on hold, and what we do is speak to the manager on the line first to explain the situation and the options we as an agent went through before escalating, and then they take the call from there. Usually, you're supposed to disconnect from the call once you patch the customer through, but sometimes I like to stick around and mute myself just to listen to the manager tell the customer the exact same thing I already told them. Their reactions are usually priceless. So I explained to the manager, we'll call him Fred, that I had already offered the customer a way better discount than what he had before. I was worried they would question why or how I gave them more than what they were tagged for, but this manager didn't seem to care. I explained how now he wanted to pay less than what he used to pay while upgrading to our highest package, and now, on top of that, have a $20 add-on given to him free for a year. Fred scoffs because they understood how ridiculous that was and told me to patch him through. I add Mark to the call, introduce him to Fred, and explain they will take the call from here. Now, all of a sudden, he's acting very polite again and says, "Oh, thank you so much, OP. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care." And continues this act while he talks to the manager, as if he wasn't just screaming at the top of his lungs at me moments ago. I stick around to hear the conversation play out. Fred does a quick rundown of what Mark was asking us to do, just to make sure nothing was missed, and Mark says, "Yep, that all sounds right to me." Then Fred pretty much tells him what he is asking for cannot be done, and that I had already offered the best discount we can provide, and explained that most customers pay way more for what he is being upgraded to. He starts getting angry again and starts yelling that he is being mistreated as a long-term customer and is threatening to cancel all of his services with us and move to a competitor. Fred says he is sorry he feels that way, and that if he would like, they can start the cancellation procedure for him. Mark had enough and hung up right after. I got a kick from hearing that and went on with my day. A month goes by, I'm taking calls and having a good day. It's slow, not a lot of callers, but the ones I do get have been very nice. And suddenly, a call comes in. The account pops up, I do a quick look over the account summary and see the customer's name. It looks familiar. I check the account's previous interactions and see mine and Fred's from a month ago. A big smile goes across my face as I am speaking to none other than Mark calling us back again. Now, this kind of thing is very rare. With a company this big, we typically have a lot of callers and a lot of employees, so it's extremely uncommon that I speak to the same person more than once. I'm thinking because it was a slow day, they had given early leave to the agents who wanted it, so there must not have been a lot of agents online taking calls, thus having this call routed to me since I was unavailable. "Thank you for calling, how can I help?" But on the inside, I've got a crap-eating grin on my face because I know he is most likely calling us back because his discount had expired and his price has gone up. He is either calling to cancel or try and get a discount again. I was right on the nose with that one. He calls saying that his discount has expired and he is looking to get a new one. Now, Mark didn't seem to recognize that he was talking to me again. He thought I was just a different agent because he mentioned he was given an offer from someone about a month ago that he was looking to accept. Here's where the malicious compliance comes in. As per our last call, you said you wanted a discount based off of your tenure? Sure thing. As a matter of fact, the system has already generated a whopping $15 off based on that. I explained that, unfortunately, because he is calling after his discount has ended, the original discount we had offered is now expired, and now we only have a $15 discount available. He starts to lose it again. Now, in some cases, this actually does happen, where if a discount isn't accepted before the other one expires, the new offer also expires and cannot be added. I can agree it's some slimy crap that this company does so they get more money. In this case, because the original $50 discount was never supposed to be given in the first place, I was able to say this and only offer what he was really tagged for. Once again, he begins to lose it. It plays out the same as it did last time. I explained that this is the best we can offer. He throws a fit and wants to speak to a manager. Again, managers are not there to apply better discounts. Sometimes we do have something called a documented promise, where if in the notes someone was offered something, say $50 off, and it didn't go through, we can still apply it. He could have lied and said he accepted it and it never went through, and the documented promise policy would have made it so we had to give him that discount. In this case, because Fred and I both wrote in the notes that he declined that offer, it was gone for good. I once again transferred him to a manager and stick around to hear the fallout. The manager did not budge, told him the same thing, that $15 off was the only option, and once again, it ends with him hanging up. I unfortunately never figured out what happened with Mark's account, but here's what could have happened. 1, he is still paying the in-market price for his services, which is a lot more than what he was paying before. 2, he accepted the $15 off and is still paying more than before. Or 3, he canceled with us and moved to a competitor, one less problematic, rude, and entitled customer. Moral of the story, be nice to the other person on the phone. If you're nice, an agent will most likely be more willing to go above and beyond for you. If you're a dick, in my case at least, I'm doing the bare minimum for you and definitely will not bend the rules for you. Again, most agents can't do that anyways, and in this case, I had access to these discounts most likely by mistake. You should still be nice to the person on the other end of the phone regardless. Ah yes, Canadian service providers, our prices suck compared to most other places. Let me just take a look at my bills here. Yeah, there's my phone bill, $167 a month for unlimited calls. And here's my internet bill, over $100 a month for gigabit internet. If there's one thing I've learned from this story, it's maybe I should be calling in and trying to get a discount. I better put on my best Karen voice. Let's try this, hold on. I deserve a discount. Do me a quick favor, have a look down below the video. If that subscribe button's still red, it means you're not actually subscribed to the KCC channel. Please hit that subscribe button for more daily Reddit stories. Our second story today comes to us from Winterborn253. Leave with the team? Sure thing. Let's jump right in. The setup. I work for a popular grocery chain that operates in the southeastern United States, where shopping at them is supposedly a great time. I've been with the company for 18 years. 4 of them as a department manager before I stepped down due to being a salaried worker that worked ridiculous amounts of overtime without compensation. That was recently dealt with via a class action lawsuit. I still work in the same department in which I was once a manager, so I know just about everything there is to know. If anything goes wrong, I can make it right. If anything breaks, I can fix it. My current manager is an awesome boss that I do anything to help out. He understands that his employees are people and not just minions to do his bidding. He's willing to work with us on any scheduling needs, so we're all willing to do the same. That being said, about 2 years ago, we were short-handed on employees that were able to close the department, particularly those that could close the kitchen. We talked and I agreed to close every night for a while until we could get some more people on board and trained in the different areas of the department. This went on longer than expected, and he apologized, but I told him not to worry, as I was actually enjoying having a regular schedule even though the hours weren't ideal. Fast forwards a few months, and we're finally staffed properly, and my manager thanks me for my help, and we agreed that I'll continue working nights because I like the consistency, and he knows that I'll always make sure everything is set up well for the next morning, and I make his job easier for doing so. During this time, we've picked a lot of great workers and a couple awful ones. The great workers were amazing to work with. I called them my A-team, and we'd often get off work 30 to 45 minutes early because we helped each other out and got stuff done. The awful workers took note of willingness to help out and would neglect parts of their closing duties because they knew the A-team would get it done in order to get off ASAP. This goes on for a while and gets worse, reaching a point where the other A-teamers and I talk to our boss and say that we don't mind helping people out, but we're done doing other people's jobs for them. He agrees and changes the policy so that once we're done with our sections, we can clock out and leave after being checked out by the manager in charge. The event. Things have been going pretty well, and as long as 2 or more of my A-team workers are closing with me, we're still able to get out early as a team. We always make sure to set up any other closers for success and do any general work like taking out the trash, adjusting inventories, etc. before leaving, but we're still able to leave a little early. This is important because we never have to worry about getting overtime. We have a strict no overtime policy. Even 1 minute of overtime will earn a write-up for the employee and my manager unless approved ahead of time. Then it happens. 3 out of the 4 other A-teamers quit within 2 weeks of each other. One found a better job, one had a family crisis to handle, another moved. I went from working with coworkers that had years of experience in the department to workers that have been with the company for less than 6 months for the most part. There are a few coworkers that are approaching their 1-year mark, but I still have more experience than all my fellow closers combined, probably tenfold. Suddenly, instead of getting out early, I'm having to work past my scheduled times on a bad night and barely getting out on time on good nights. I try to manage my own time in order to not have to leave early or come in late, but I've been cutting it close. 3 weeks ago, a particular manager in charge, there's 7 managers in charge that each have a set night to close, is closing. I'm closing with newbies and I'm in danger of going into overtime. This is a Thursday night, and while I do close Friday, final day of our week cycle, I make sure to keep some wiggle room in case anything goes wrong on Friday night that keeps me from leaving on time. I finish closing my section, take trash, adjust inventory, and generally help out as much as I can until it's my scheduled time off, at which point I clock out and page my manager in charge to check me out. I'd have paged sooner, but I knew that my section was clear. Again, I've been doing this for a long time and wasn't going to be asked to work off the clock. The following conversation occurs. Why are you paging me over here? The others are clearly not finished and you should be helping them. I paged you to clear my section so that I can leave and not worry about OT. I did XYZ to help them out, and all they have left shouldn't take more than 10 minutes or so. Do you work tomorrow? Yes, but I'm closing kitchen and always come in early on those days to ensure a smooth transition and make sure I don't fall behind. The little bit of wiggle room I have left to avoid OT is going to be used for that. You can't be in danger of OT if you still have another day to work. You know that the entire department is supposed to leave as a team. You leaving before your coworkers isn't right. I'll let you leave this time, but from now on, you leave with your team. Side note, this manager in charge came from a sister store after the fiasco mentioned in the setup. The next day, I talked to my direct manager and asked him how he wants me to handle the situation. He assures me that I did the right thing and was just managing my own time in order to avoid OT. He knows that I always try to set up everyone for success. The entire reason I'm still closing 5 nights a week is for this very purpose after all. I should mention that on this particular night with said manager in charge, I left the department a fair number of times to do extra work, get trucks from the back, clean up the back room of cardboard and trash, take out old grease to the canister outside, etc. And she came looking for me while I was doing the side jobs on 2 occasions. On the second occasion, she told me that she wanted me to alert her anytime I'm going to leave the department, so she'd know my whereabouts. I thought it was odd since no one else had to do this, but whatever. I later learned that she told my manager that I was taking entirely too many smoke breaks. I take 2 a day as per company policy, and said that I wasn't doing what I said I was doing for the side work and just using them for extra breaks. I sighed internally and had an idea. It was time for some malicious compliance. The compliance. Every night that this manager in charge has closed, I've had a great time complying to her wishes. First, every time I leave the department, she knows. Going to the restroom, paged. Lunch break, paged. Taking cardboard to the baler, running trash, having to help a customer outside my department, paged, paged, and paged. She's gotta know where I am, right? Secondly, I still refuse to put myself in danger of overtime while also refusing to work off the clock. So what happens? I punch out at my scheduled time no matter what, and then I'm on my own time. I sit down at my manager's desk, pull up other malicious compliance stories from this sub on YouTube, and start enjoying malicious compliance posts at full volume while my coworkers continue to finish up around me. Last week, she sees me on my phone. What exactly are you doing? There's still more work to be done. Don't you see your coworkers still working? Why are you just sitting there? I've already done my work, helped out as much as I could, but still had to clock out on time. I'm just here waiting for them to finish so we can leave as a team. That's what you wanted, right? The fallout. Nothing spectacular yet. She gives me the stink eye every now and again when she sees me and simply smirk back at her. She tried complaining to my manager, but he always has my back. I even shared with him that I've considered further malicious compliance if she keeps pushing me by keeping her updated on my whereabouts even when she's not the manager in charge. I'm keeping that one up my sleeve for the time being. She never stated that my updates were needed only when she was manager in charge, so I'm just waiting for her to try something else. OP, never forget to have a paper trail. Try and get that manager to put it down in writing that she wants you to stick around until everyone leaves. That way, you won't get in trouble for the overtime. It'll be completely on her head when you don't clock out. Check out both OPs at the links in the description down below. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.